Let's talk about connecting declarative agents for extending Microsoft 365 Copilot. And let's start having a quick look at the architecture of declarative agents, where we have all of the foundational models available in Microsoft 365 Copilot, plus the orchestrator of Microsoft 365 Copilot and its user experience in the biz chat as part of the architecture of any declarative agent. Plus, we can have custom knowledge bases to provide additional data and grounding for our agents. And we can have skills like MCP tools, like REST API actions and stuff like that. But we can also have connected agents, which allows us to create architecture based on multiple agents that can work together to give better results to the end users of our solutions. So when it comes to connected agents, what we can do is to create a modular agent architecture where we let the orchestrator to define which agent to use based on the prompt provided by the user, so that we can have a better and specialized set of worker agents that can work based on the actual input of the user and can even join their forces to give a better result to the end users through a unified user experience, which will allow the end users to simply focus on their goal, on their prompt, and will let the agents behind the scenes work and provide the actual and more complete response to the user based on their prompt. So when we create connected agents with declarative agents, some of the reasons why we want to do so is, for example, when we want to use too many tools, and it is not a good idea to have too many tools inside a single unique agent. It is a better idea to have a more modular architecture where you have multiple agents with different tools, and then you have an orchestrator agent which will orchestrate the interaction between all of these agents. When you have a too wide set of knowledge bases, so if you want to have specialized agents with specialized knowledge bases, and then you want to, again, join their forces through an orchestrator agent, that's a good idea to rely on connected agents, as well as when you have, for example, too complex or too long instructions. So rather than having a really complex set of instructions, and remember that you also have the 8,000 characters limit for the instructions, you can have different agents with different set of instructions, knowledge, and tools, and then you combine them through an orchestrator agent, which will manage the interaction between all of them. I decided to use in this slide a sentence based on the Latin language, divided et impera, which in English should be something like divide and rule. So the idea is that instead of having a huge, complex monolith full of instructions, tools, and knowledge, you actually create multiple agents. You have a better maintenance, a better governance of those small agents, and you coordinate all of them with the main orchestrator agent, which will reuse the experience, the knowledge, and the rules of those smaller or child agents. So let's move to the demo environment, and let's see how you can do that practically speaking. And so let me switch to this desktop, where first of all, I want to point you and focus your attention on this lab that we have in the Copilot camp, which is the basis of the demo that I'm going to show now. This is a lab created by my colleague Rabia Williams. It's lab number 9, connected agents. In this lab, we explain you how to create an orchestrator agent and how to orchestrate a couple of agents for an hypothetical Java insurance company. When it comes to this scenario, we have actually 3 agents. One is the Java claims agent. Let me show you this agent in action. It's an agent that allows you to search for information about claims filed by customers of this hypothetical insurance company. So let me activate this agent. And for example, I can provide a prompt like find all of the inspections for a claim with a specific number. This agent will be based on an external MCP server with a set of tools, and will actually retrieve the information about the claims and about the inspectors. As you can see here, I need to confirm that I want to use this specific MCP tool to retrieve the information, and it will rely on an external system, an hypothetical external system, to retrieve some business-related data to provide me a complete answer through the user interface of the agent itself. And as you can see here, I have this agent, it is processing the output, and since I enabled, for the sake of showing you additional details, the debug mode, the developer mode, in Microsoft 365 Copilot with chat, here in the debug info, we can see that we are using a get inspections tool, and we can also see that we executed the specification of the MCP server that I'm using. Now, I also have another agent, which is called the Java procurement agent, which I can use to get information about the rules for the e-procurement for our suppliers. So, for example, I want to use a prompt. I'm a lazy developer, so let me copy this prompt from here. I want to use a prompt like, for example, what are the rates for emergency water extraction and drying services? Now, this agent will rely on a specific set of documents, PDF documents and Word documents that we use to build the knowledge base of my agent. And again, now this agent is processing the prompt of the user and is giving me an answer based on the knowledge base that we have. If we look into these two agents from a source perspective, the Java Claims one is configured as a declarative agent in my Visual Studio Code. In the declarative agent, I have a set of actions, and actually these actions are based on an MCP server that I configured, and I can see here all of the actions to create claims, inspections, to get claims, to get inspections, contractors, and stuff like that. So this is my declarative agent based on an external MCP server. But I also have the Java procurement agent, here it is, where in the embedded knowledge, I configured 4 PDF files with all of the knowledge base that I want to use for this agent. And again, in the declarative agent.json file, I have some settings, including in the capabilities, the embedded knowledge base. So I'm embedding these PDF files into the actual agent. Now, let's say that I want to have a richer experience for my end users. So when I'm in Microsoft 365 Copilot BitChat, I want to actually rely on another orchestrator agent, which will simply allow the users to search and get the information they are looking for, no matter what. So this specific agent, which is actually called in my demo the Java Care agent, I simply want to provide a prompt, and based on the actual content of the prompt, the orchestrator will choose to use one or the other, or even both of the agents to give the best answer to the user and to the prompt of the user. So, for example, I can provide a prompt like, find me all open roof damage claims along with contractor pricing insights, which means that the agent, now the Java Care agent, will need to rely on the Java Claims agent to get the information about the claims with roof damage, and will need to rely on the Java Procurement one to get the pricing information with the contractors which will be involved to repair the roof damages. So by triggering this prompt, you will see that the Java Care agent will start working with both of the agents and will build a response for my user, which will be based on the output of both of them. So now we can see it is now contacting the Java Procurement one, and as such you see that it is working with the external Java Procurement agent, and soon it will start also talking with the Java Claims agent. Now it has got the answer from the Java Procurement, and soon we will see that it is also going to interact with the Java Claims one. And actually we can even expand here, and you can see that it actually already did it, and we already got some information for the Java Claims and some other information for the Java Procurement. How can you do that? While it is working, let me switch back to Visual Studio Code and let me show you how this Java Care agent has been defined. So this is yet another declarative agent, a third declarative agent that I have in my solution. In this declarative agent, in the JSON file that defines the structure of the agent, I have a specific section called Worker Agents, where I have the list of the IDs of all of the agents that I want to connect to my orchestrator agent. Where do I get this specific ID? Well, one option is, for example, to go to the actual agent you want to use inside your orchestrator agent. And when you are in the developer environment, if you open the m.dev file, you can find under the M365 title ID the actual value of that specific ID that you can simply copy and paste. Another option to get that information, if I switch to a tab which I had already available before, and it will load, you can see that in the debug information you get from the Copilot bit chat right here, you can get the information about the agent ID. And this is exactly the same value as before. So a couple of options. You can get it from Visual Studio Code, or you can get it from the debug information if you enable the developer mode. No matter what, of course, every now and then we can see some hiccups, especially now with the Wi-Fi going up and down. Let me try to trigger again the request. And if not, I can show you the actual output right here, because I made the same prompt a few minutes ago. You can see the output of all of the claims with those kind of damages that we are looking for, and with all of the information about the contractor pricing, which were retrieved from the Java procurement agent. So, really simple. You create an agent in the declarative agent.json file. You provide, if we go to the right one, which is right here, Java care, you provide the ID of the worker agents, and you can create much more complex solutions, which will improve your maintenance and your governance, having isolated agents, which will be then connected through an orchestrator one. Really powerful. Really useful to create more complex solutions which allow you to give better answers to the users. If you are interested in digging into this topic, you simply need to go to the lab 09, the one about connected agents in the Copilot Dev Camp, or you can go to the whole Copilot Dev Camp and go through all of the labs, which includes also this one. I think that's all for me.